just made this short video about some clips I put together showing the tool change with this boring bar, and a few little clips of what I'm doing on the first operation on this continuation of these parts. This is just a second group of parts that I'm doing now. This is bringing the Sandvik silent bar up into the spindle of the machine here. The rough boring bar. I found on this material that what made the big difference on turning was to use an insert with a 15-degree lead angle on it, and that really made the turning work much better. And I could actually double the surface footage as well. So here I have a stop in the program just to index the insert before the roughing cycle. And I was able to use a square insert as well because of the 15-degree lead angle. That gives me 8 cutting edges per insert. So this is becoming pretty routine, this whole job. I just have to run the program now. That's the tunneloid drill. Engaging 2 holes here. So this is the first operation of the part. I had to delete the videos on, but this doesn't show anything of the finished profiles of the parts, so you really can't tell anything here. So I don't think anybody should have any problem with this. And I'm not really gonna, or am able to show any more of this than this part of it, I think. And that hole there is just a tooling hole to hold the part on the next operations fixture. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual finished part. It's the 5/8 11 thread for the tooling hole. And it mates up to that fixture with these drill bushings that are 7/8 of an inch in diameter. And the actual OD is a little bit bigger because, you know, drill bushings press into holes, so I bored these .8777 is a nice slick fit on the bushing. So I just showed a few sequences here of doing a few things on the part, just mostly to make a video so I could publish something. And on the previous video, there was some discussion about fusion and working offline, and some people felt like that was a big detraction for the software, but I actually questioned the Autodesk people pretty carefully about that, and they sent me a link that has a write-up that explains all of that, and whoever was saying that is actually mistaken. You can work offline. Maybe it was that way before, but they've changed it if it was. And you can work offline for up to 2 weeks, but you do have to connect sometime in the 2-week period just to keep the software functioning. But that's no different than a lot of softwares now, like Adobe products. You have to connect once every 30 days to use their, like the software I'm editing this video on, a Premiere Pro, you have to do that. And all of their other softwares, basically. So that's not really a problem. You can save your files to your computer. I even questioned them, like, what if somebody brought me a file, like a model on a USB stick, and I plug that into the computer, can I open that up? And they said, yes, you can do everything you need to do. So this is kind of a misconception, I think, of Fusion. You can actually work offline and save. The only thing you wouldn't be able to do, of course, is interact with other people over the cloud. If you were working on maybe a big project where everybody was sharing models, you couldn't do that, of course, offline. But the minute that you reconnect online, it will save your updated model, but you would have to be careful if you were doing such a thing that it would copy over the what we'll call the lower revision, and so you would have to make sure if you wanted to do that or not. But other than that, you can indeed work offline with Fusion 360. So should have had my new laptop by now, but it got delayed, I think, because of the holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend this weekend. So it was supposed to be here by the end of this week, but it didn't show up, and now they have the shipping date that it'll come to me Tuesday of next week. And after I get that, I can sort out what I want to save off the old laptop, and hopefully I'll be able to transfer the software that I do use on that onto the new computer, and then I can disassemble that old computer and see if I can repair it. And it definitely needs to be cleaned out, because when I had the cooling fans, I went as far as taking some of it apart, and I had the cooling fans out of there, and I could see there's a lot of like oily residue on the fins of the heat exchangers for the heat pipe things on that computer. So I definitely need to clean it out and probably reseat the with the heat sink compound and everything on the CPU and the GPU chip. And if I can repair that computer, then I won't have to worry so much about, I can still use the software that's on it. And hopefully that'll be the case. And I can just use the new computer for Fusion, and I want to also transfer my Adobe Premiere onto the new computer, because it's a much more powerful computer for video editing. And it also has more hard drive space and everything on it too. So you can see I'm about halfway through the next set of parts on the first operation. But of course I can't show any of that anymore because the customer didn't want me to show it. But this, I felt like it was, you can't tell what the part is here, so I don't see why they'd have a problem with this. So that's pretty much it for this week's video. And maybe next week I'll have all that other computer stuff sorted out, and we can start on that and get going with that and do some stuff that's a little more interesting. So if this is the first time you've watched my videos, and this interests you, this kind of content, I know this video doesn't have much content in it, but normally my videos have more. Please subscribe, and for everybody else, thanks for watching.